here's how it started. So she was designated, assigned, observed male at birth. And until about 18 months, didn't really, know too much, just kind of was raising 2 kids, working full time, not really paying attention to what was going on. And at around 18 months, she started showing signs of like really being interested in things that her sister had and had in her closet. And
can we all admit now that the NHS is not fit for purpose? It bends its knees to the groups. By the way, not all trans people want this. It is a small group of them that are the most extreme in their thought process that have pushed for this, and the NHS bows its knee time and time again. Trans toddlers allowed gender treatment on NHS under 7s to be seen by clinic as health services caving to activists on age limits. Let's have a look. I can't actually believe I'm reading this, but the NHS is treating nursery-age children who believe they are transgender after watering down its own guidance, the Telegraph can reveal. The health service was previously set to introduce a minimum age of 7 for children to be... It shouldn't be... There shouldn't even be 7. They're still kids. You're talking about... You're having therapy with kids, right? Talking about all this gender... They haven't even gone through puberty yet. What the fuck are you doing? 7 for children to be seen by specialist gender clinics, claiming anything less was just too young. They're too young at the age of 7. I believe they're too young by the age of, 18.
Oh, wow. This is happening. I thought all of that stuff was supposed to stop. Toddlers, actual toddlers, okay? So, welcome back to the channel. Here we go again. It seems like things start to look up, and then they start to look down again. It's just flip-flopping all over the place. I don't get it. But today I wanted to bring you this story because I feel like it's really important and it's staying on topic with what we're all talking about here, which is saving the kids from this. And now they're starting at toddler age. It's so absurd. So with that, thanks again for joining me. Thanks again for liking, subscribing. Thanks for, getting this out to people who need to see it. It really means a lot to me and helping me build this channel and getting my voice as someone who, remember YouTube, I am a transsexual who transitioned a long time ago, and I do not believe children are trans, and I do not believe of any of this nonsense that is going on. And in fact, I have really hardcore opinions about it. Probably can't really say it here, but anyway, with that, so let's move on with this. I thought it would be great to show you this person reacting to it instead of me reading about it from the because I just like his energy, and I just think it's important to see how other people are reacting to this and just disgusted by the whole thing. So let's move forward.
By then, that's when they can start deciding what they want to do. Let's see what else it says. So the limit was removed after the proposals were put out to consultation, with new guidance due to be published showing that children of any age are eligible. However, a source close to the consultation process said NHS England had caved to the pressure of the trans activists to remove the limits. Which, by the way, as I said, small, tiny group, tiniest group ever, and they've bent the knee at that. The children are not given powerful D words, such as puberty blockers at the clinics, but are offered counselling and therapy along with their family. They're kids. They're kids. Tomboys, tomgirls. Oh, no, sorry. Don't do this. Up to 10 children of nursery age are being treated, according to new data, while as many as 157 children aged 9 or younger have been referred to the clinics. The worst part is, the people that have pushed for this are also going to be the people that are going to be doing the therapy for this. They want this to happen. This is their thing. They want this. This is their whole purpose.
Yes, this guy makes such great sense. Yes, that's their whole purpose, is to create this space so that now there's these jobs and everyone's, of course they're going to push for this thing. It creates more work for these people, thus more money, all at the expense of young people. And remember, this is about therapy with their parents. So you're going to bring your kid into therapy, okay? It's not necessarily medical, it's therapy, which to me is just as bad because you're brainwashing parents into thinking their kids are trans at 2 years old, right? What BS is that? How can you tell you can't? This is indoctrination and telling the parents that, oh yeah, your kid has a gender identity issue. They don't even know what a boy or a girl is at that age. And so what if your girl wants to play with trucks or your boy wants to wear a dress? Who cares? Why y'all making a big deal about it? You see, when you start making a big deal about stuff, kids pick up on that. And kids are like, oh, well, mommy's giving me more attention because I'm wearing a dress and I'm saying I'm a girl. So now I'm going to keep saying that because mommy keeps giving me more attention. I also want to remind you all, to me, it feels, in my opinion and what I see, it's more moms and more women doing this to their kids and not so many dads. I did that one thing on Harrison, who had to deal with the mom taking the kid away and creating this little boy into a girl. And I just got an email from another dad dealing with the same thing, and his crazy wife, and they're going, I think, through a custody battle now, trying to turn their son into a girl at the age of like 3 or 4. It's just mind-blowing to me that this is happening, but I do see it more coming from moms. So remember, this is therapy. You got to bring your kid into therapy because they might be a trans kid at 2. What?
Let's see what else it says. So the draft guidance published in 2023 added that by 7 years old, children may have developed more of their cognitive comprehension and communication skills to an extent they will be able to engage with health professionals. Mate, I'm nearly 30 and I can't even ring the doctor. Their guidance was drawn up after the CAS review into children's transgender services led by paediatrician Baroness Class found the NHS had been sending children on a one-way path to change their gender at the Tavisky clinic. I'm just lost for words. I think we're all just lost for words. It's like, and as I said, smallest group fraction of, like, it's not all trans, as I said before. But as I said, it's the people that are pushing it that are also going to be the ones that are going to be doing the therapy for it. It's a joke. And well, to be fair, actually, the people that are going to be pushing their kids into it are also already part of it anyway. So it's just a continuous cycle.
It's just a continuous cycle. You see, the people who are saying they have trans kids, they're actually creating this platform for them because they're actually got something going on with them. If you think your kid is trans at 2, you got to get into some help. Seriously, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but there's something going on with you if you actually think your kid is trans at 2 and you've been sucked into some kind of weird mind bending alter universe that you would even think this. But you know, there are Facebook groups, there are TikTok groups, there's all these groups with these trans parents who are literally feeding each other this stuff and making themselves feel better for doing this to their 2-year-old kid. So this is from the paper, the Telegraph, and it's trans toddlers allowed gender treatment, and people just are going nuts because it's actually insane. It's insane. So I want to bring up this next one here because I went in and I searched for some, oh my God, TikTok is so disgusting, but these people put this on there. So it's actually kind of good because, you know, you got to see the enemy and you got to see what people are doing. So they're exposing themselves, which is why we can push back on this. So check this one out.
Okay, so first of all, I will say that the journey is ongoing and probably will be for potentially her entire life. But here's how it started. So she was designated, assigned, observed male at birth. And until about 18 months, didn't really, know too much, just kind of was raising 2 kids, working full time, not really paying attention to what was going on. And at around 18 months, she started showing signs of like really being interested in things that her sister had and had in her closet, and wanting to play dress up and wanting to put on lip gloss. And when she would see fingernails, she would want her fingernails painted too. And, we thought it was cute. No issue. We had no issue with, her wanting to do those kinds of things. And then around the age of 2, things started to progress at a quicker pace. And so each time that we would go to pick her up from preschool, she was fully outfitted in dresses and jewelry. And so
I am just totally blown away that people think this is okay. What is happening? Seriously, what is happening? 18 months and then 2? Okay, look, if your kid is getting dressed up at nursery school or whatever it's going up, I don't know if I actually have a problem with that, right? Like, because we're supposed to be getting rid of stereotypes. So if a little boy wants to wear, it's fun to them. I don't think they're looking at it as gender. I really don't. I don't think they're looking at it. I think they just feel more comfortable in that, and it makes them happy. And it's like, who the fuck cares? But the thing is that these are the parents that are obviously making it seem like their kid is trans at 18 months and 2. Psychopaths.
I will say I was super stoked that we had such a wonderful childcare center that she was in, because she was allowed to, experiment with her gender and play dress up and do those kinds of things and have access to them. So when I would go to pick her up from preschool, like I said, she would be dripping in, just jewelry and clicky shoes and all kinds of stuff. And getting her to take that off to go home was usually a pretty gnarly struggle. And then around the age of 4, she started wanting to wear like leggings and headbands. She had this one headband she was completely attached to that she felt, I look back on it now and think to myself, gosh, I wonder when she put that headband on, she thought to herself, people see me for who I am. No one's going to misgender me now. And so it progressed. It just kept moving in that direction with more and more things that started showing more and more signs. She would say, when I wake up tomorrow, I'll be a girl. And we were kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. And my husband and I would be like, we gotta figure this thing out. And so kind of for that.
At 4, she was figuring out her she. Remember, this is a boy. So she was figuring out. The parents are putting this on the kid. There is this no doubt. The parents are putting this on their kids, like living through the child. Oh, for sure, she would throw a tantrum if she couldn't take or wear the necklace, or she couldn't put on the clothes, or I will keep reiterating this to you. I grew up a total little boy on some level. My parents never told me I was a boy. My parents never always told me I was a girl. They didn't have any issues with me wearing boy stuff, whatever that means, right? The thing that happened was, like, if we would go to family functions, I would have to put on the dress. I had one dress and I would throw a little bit of a temper tantrum. Of course, I wasn't comfortable in it. It doesn't mean I was a boy, okay? It's just ridiculous. So I know, because I was actually that, and I think this is actually the parent pushing this on the kid. My parents never pushed this. They just let me be. And then the things that they would push on me was wearing the dress, because they were like, nope, you're a girl, deal with it. And I personally thank my parents for doing that, to be honest with you, for not putting me through some kind of system and screwing me up. I figured this all out on my own, like a big boy, okay, or a big girl. And then I got to the space where I figured it out, and now I've been doing this for 30 years, and I feel very healthy. Whatever any of you believe about, I feel healthy, I feel focused, I feel good, but this is not real. This is not okay, and this is the parents pushing this.
Final test, my husband decided, you know what, we're going to figure this thing out. We're going to tap into this and see what happens. So he said, I'm going to coach a t-ball team, and I want her to be on it. And so I was like, all right, let's do it. Well, that didn't go over so well. She not only hated t-ball, she hated the uniform, she hated the hat. We found everything in the trash multiple times. She was, you couldn't get her out the door to go play on Saturday mornings. And so eventually I thought at one point, well, what if I let you wear your leggings and a tank top underneath, and we can, as soon as the game's over, you can take your uniform off. And she was like, okay. So she wore the headband. She didn't wear the hat. She wore the headband. She wore the clothes underneath her uniform. And she would go to the game, and she would stand there. And as soon as it was like game over, she would rip those clothes, that uniform off, and stand and proud in her tank top and her leggings. And very shortly after that, she told us she was a girl. And we believe her.
I know you're all just speechless as I am. What? She threw the uniform off. She didn't want to wear it. We knew it. She's trans. She told us. Nope, she didn't tell you anything. Okay? He is just wanting to be part of the girls. He doesn't want to be part of the boys. That doesn't make him anything other than a normal little kid who doesn't want to participate. Why can't he be a boy playing with the girls? Why can't he be a boy wearing a dress? Why can't he be a boy with a girl name? Why can't, you know what I mean? I had a boy name when I was a little girl. No big deal. It was considered cute at the time. So I just really, in my opinion, what I see here is a parent pushing their own agenda on their child. Period. You're not going to change my mind about that. Next one I have, another Looney Tunes.
What it's like being the mother of a trans 7-year-old.
Wow.
2. The biggest fear that people bring to me, usually in the form of hate, is that my child is going to deeply regret that I trusted and believed them when they came to me and told me that they were a boy. But the only time that happens is when we force children into binary boxes that they can't escape. My child may not stay trans. They may come out later as non-binary. They may come out later again as a girl. And they know that they can do that.
Wow.
My son told me he was a boy when he was 5 years old. And the one and only time that he has been militant about his gender, meaning like, no, I am this thing, is the one time that someone in my family told him he couldn't be that because he was too young.
I just want to scream. I just really want to scream. I want you all in the comments, okay? Whoever, tell me, when you were a kid, were you playing with your gender? Were you like a girl who really just wanted to be boy and you maybe said, I'm a boy? Was there any of you who actually ever... I did that. I know a lot of the girls I hung out with, we all thought we were boys. We hung out. That's why we hung out together. We were like super masculine girls. I want to be a boy, you know, but no one told us we were boys. No one ever told us we were boys. All of us grew up and moved on. Most all of my friends from back then are all just living as females today. I think, no, some of them definitely became lesbians, but all of them are living in their sex, and none of them transitioned. I think I was the only one that actually did that. So that's why I'm telling you that you can, maybe you're going to be non-binary, or maybe, it's just so frustrating for me to watch the parents, like, put this on their kids.
I have put an incredible amount of energy into making sure that he knows that he still has all of the possibilities open to him. And as empowering and affirming as I am also very clear that he can change his mind, that he can be all of the different things, and that I love and respect what he tells me he is. Because the antidote to this fear that people have that children are going to make a choice that they regret later is not forcing them to make one and one choice only. The propaganda around trans youth has become so extreme. I honestly don't know if my voice can make that big a difference. But if anyone listened this far in an attempt to really learn and understand, I'm just asking you to challenge that part of your head that feels like this is an either or circumstance, because the antidote to this fear is actually opening our mind and allowing them to figure all of this out without you're bad, you're good, this is right, this is wrong.
Wait a minute there for a second, lady. Okay, I'm pushing back on you as a transsexual. You're the one doing. You've literally. That's hypocrisy. You are actually telling your child they're trans. You're actually doing that to your child. Okay, I think 7-year-old child. So no, take your own advice. First off, that is not a boy. It's a girl. So you're already putting that in your child's head, that you're not being truthful or honest with your child. You cannot change your sex. Period. Did this for 32 years. I never changed my sex, lady. So you are the one who are actually trapping your child into this thought process. You're not being healthy towards your child, and you're not telling your child the truth. They cannot change their sex, okay? They might want to be a boy. They might want to feel this way. They might want to be this way, but not until they're old enough to even gone through puberty, do any of this stuff. You are the one who is actually, this idea that there's so much anger towards trans kids, and that's because we want to save them. That's because we believe it's not true as a transsexual. Many of us don't believe we were trans kids, okay? You are the one who are actually trapping your child into this space. Don't you hear yourself? Back up off the internet, okay? Go to some therapy, and not gender affirming. Go talk to a therapist why you believe your child is actually a boy and not a girl. That's on you. That is not on your child.
Say that again, Mom.
You used to scream at the top of your lungs at 2 years old with tears rolling down your face that you were not a boy, that you were a girl.
Go on.
Every time I would tell you that you were a boy because you had a pee-pee, you would say, no, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, and you would scream it.
'Cause I'm a girl! My mom literally just said you don't know shit like that when you're at 2, but I guess I'm an exception.
No, you're not. You're not an exception. Okay, now as an adult, you made the choice. Go for it. person, but don't you dare put that on your mom, okay? Because your mom is right. You don't know shit when you're 2, okay? Big deal that you said, that's not my pee-pee. I don't want to be... people, are you around kids? Are any of you actually around children? Do you know what children do? Do you know that children see whatever's going on in your household, what they're watching, what they're seeing? It's actually influencing them. It is why I keep telling you, get your kids away from other trans kids. If you need to get them out of a school, get them out, save them. They are being indoctrinated through this. A 2-year-old is being indoctrinated by their parents, okay? And that is the actual truth of the matter. Okay, now we have the NHS telling us that there are 2-year-old trans kids. Shame on you. Shame on our medical system. Shame on all of you who believe in trans kids. Shame on you, and you're disgusting. Okay, so I'm getting a little heated here. This is a great one. This is a great one. I love this one.
Do you want to know what's fucked up? I have a daughter who is in 3rd grade. I also have a son, but this is about my daughter. I have a daughter who is in 3rd grade, and she plays sports, specifically softball. They had to bring home a paper because the school is doing this free physical day thing, because you have to have a physical on file to do sports, right? Tell me why. Like, normally when you fill out papers for the doctor and papers like that, you know, you put the name, date of birth, all the information. You have to put if you're male or female. Tell me fucking why this year, this is the first time, on this paper, it said, what did you identify as at birth? And then the next question is, what do you identify as now? I'm sorry, what? These are children. I have no fucking words. No fucking.
See, parents are getting pissed. Thank God for parents like that. 3rd grade? What were you born as? And then what do you identify as now? This is a real parent telling us. So stop saying this isn't happening, trans activists and weirdos out there. It's actually happening. I've even seen the papers myself. Okay, why do you think I march my ass down to the kids' school to see, like, who are the teachers and are there flags everywhere and what are you being taught? Because I will not tolerate any of that. Even being a part of the LGBT community, I will not tolerate that being in those grade schools. That is ridiculous behavior. So that being said, yay for that parent. This is unbelievable. This is unacceptable. None of this needs to be in the school system. They are indoctrinating children. They are indoctrinating your child. If you think your child is trans, you better think again. You better think again. They are going to grow up to dislike you. I guarantee you, if you push your child into that space. This one I want to bring up because I think it's funny. Again, I don't want to be all mad. I want to laugh a little bit, even though this is not a laughing matter, but I thought this was a really good one.
Do you remember when you realized you were a girl?
No.
Starting at the age of 2, she was already telling us, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl.
Bullshit.
Oh, you're such a cute little boy. Nope. I'm not a boy, I'm a girl.
What?
She was struggling a lot with tantrums. They thought it was sensory processing disorder. And then when she was 4.5, she went to the gender clinic.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. And, the doctor sat down and said, are you a girl? And she said, yep. And he's like, okay, from now on, you're a girl.
What the is this?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was like a light switch. It went from this really hard toddler trying to get her to navigate the world and put on clothes and tantruming to the easiest kid ever.
Gross, just gross. 4, the easy, and you obviously have an agenda. You're clearly trans or non-binary or some stuff, and you totally have an agenda to raise your kid as trans. At 4, they knew they were trans, and then they became the easiest kid in the world. Maybe because you let them just dress how they needed to dress. But what does that have to do with their identity choice, you freaks? Some people just shouldn't have kids, and then it's so hard for the people who can't actually have kids to get kids. The whole system is completely messed up. It's so crazy. Okay, I'm going to leave you. This is how I feel. I want to put this here because it's how I feel. It's literally how I feel. And I'm going to just, okay, be prepared because it's going to shock you a little bit right now. Okay, so here it comes. Be prepared.
Like some chemical smell.
Yeah,
You'll
thanks.
smell it. Oh, this is no And he threw flakes in it. Mommy,
Put this stuff down and then you throw this. Sorry.
Holy
Sorry. I'm here to pick up something.
It's just so good. That one's making I snorted. That one's making the rounds. It's like some weird non-binary weirdo. So that's what you're gonna do to your kids, okay? And then everyone's gonna be screaming because they're like, "What?" And you're literally changing your kid into some weirdo non-binary, sexless unicorn. They, them, Zerzy, Zep. Yeah, you're doing your kid a real good favor there. So it's hilarious, but it's not. Okay, so back to being a little bit serious here. I just, I just, yeah, this is where we are. This is where we are, people. We got to push back on this. I'm part of it. I'm not going to tolerate this stuff anymore. Exposing the grift of what's going on. It's insane and it's gross. And we have to care about these kids. And they are not trans. They are nothing. They are just kids. They are boys and girls. Let them play with their stereotypes. Let them have trucks and Barbies and glitter and all kinds of stuff. Who cares? Let them figure their stuff out. Okay, they're gonna go through puberty. They're gonna have a hard time. It's all you choose to have a kid. You got to be really healthy around that. Okay, so it's your choice to have a kid. If you love your kid, you will not trans your kid, and that's my message to you. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.